Welcome to Filmwar. Let's cut the shit. This is a movie game show, podcast, whatever. So every second not spent playing movie games is a second wasted. Our only rule, you may not say the word Goonies aloud at any point during the show. If you do, all of your points will be reset to 0. Tonight we have Jordan. Tonight we have Chris. And we have newcomers. Tonight we have George. And tonight we have Dalton. They were here for our draft special, but now they're here proper as contestants. They will be competing for a copy of The Shawshank Redemption on VHS. It's a good one tonight, guys. You guys excited to take that one home?
I want it.
Oh, yeah.
George came to play. All right.
This game is called Genre Feud.
Our first game is Genre Feud. I'll be giving you a genre of films and 3 films that fall within that genre. You will take turns guessing which film had the lowest budget and the highest worldwide gross. So took the least amount of money to make and made the most of money at the box office. Each correct response will give you 1 point. Our first genre is teen murder movies. And those 3 teen murder movies are from 1998, Jawbreaker, from 1988, Heathers, and from 1986, River's Edge, one of Keanu Reeves' first films. All right, let's start with seasoned veteran Jordan. Which one of these films had the lowest budget?
Okay, lowest budget, I'm going to give to River's Edge.
Jordan's saying River's Edge. Chris, what do you say?
Having never heard of it, of course I haven't heard of 2 out of 3, but I think I'll also go with River's Edge.
Chris agreeing with Jordan, saying River's Edge. George, what do you say?
I also have to agree. River's Edge.
A lot of River's Edge. Dalton, are you going to go against the group?
I am. I'm going to go with Heathers, actually.
Dalton saying Heathers. The rest of the contestants are saying River's Edge had the lowest budget, and the answer is River's Edge. $2 million to make that movie. Heathers took $3 million, and Jawbreaker took $4 million. All very low budgets. Does everyone have a personal favorites?
Having only seen Heathers, I got to default with that one.
Yeah,
Heathers,
same.
I love Heathers. Jawbreaker's pretty good too.
Jawbreaker, so I'm going to go with Jawbreaker.
Yeah, I love Jawbreaker too.
Yeah, I'll give an extra point to anyone that does the Jawbreaker song right now.
The Veruca Assault.
Yes, yeah. All right, moving on. All right. Chance is
No
gone.
points this
Chance is
round.
gone. All right. I try not to give out a lot of bonus points on this show just because it's hard for me to keep track of at the moment. So I'm glad you didn't do it. All right, now we're going to highest worldwide box office. Which one of these 3 films made the most money at the box office? Let's start with Chris.
I'm going to go with Heathers.
Chris is saying Heathers. George, what do you say?
I will also say Heathers.
2 for Heathers. Dalton, what do you say?
Yeah, Heathers.
3 for Heathers. Jordan, what do you say?
I want to say Heathers. The only thing that gives me pause is the decade of inflation in between the releases there. But I honestly, I still think Heathers probably.
All 4 of our contestants are saying Heathers brought in the most money at the worldwide box office, and the answer is River's Edge. $5 million that movie brought in. $3 million Jawbreaker brought in, and Heathers brought in only $1 million at the box office. No points to any of our contestants.
Shocking.
Our next genre, spoofs. Here are 3 spoof movies. The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad from 1988. Not Another Teen Movie from 2001. And MacGruber from 2010. Which one of these films had the lowest budget, George?
I will go with Not Another Teen Movie.
George is saying Not Another Teen Movie. Dalton, what do you say?
I'll go with, Not Another Teen Movie.
Dalton also saying Not Another Teen Movie. Chris, what do you say?
For some reason, I'm feeling MacGruber there.
Chris saying MacGruber. Jordan, what do you say?
I mean, I would think it would be The Naked Gun.
Jordan saying Naked Gun. Chris is saying MacGruber, and Jordan and Dalton are both saying Not Another Teen Movie. And the answer is MacGruber. $10 million to make that movie.
That's right.
$15 million to make Not Another Teen Movie, and $12 million to make The Naked Gun. Chris gets another point. All right, now worldwide box office gross. Jordan, let's start with you. Which one of these films made the most money?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with not another teen movie.
Jordan saying not another teen movie. Chris, what do you say?
This is a tough one. I would love it to be Naked Gun. I hated Not Another Teen Movie, but I think that one probably did better as well.
Chris also saying not another teen movie. George, what do you say?
I'll be different. I'll go with MacGruber.
George saying MacGruber brought in the most money at the box office. Dalton, what do you say?
I am gonna have to go with not another teen movie.
Dalton also agreeing with not another teen movie. And the answer is The Naked Gun. Naked Gun brought in $79 million at the box office, even back in the 80s. Not another
Wow.
teen movie brought in
Well,
$66 million, and
was my
MacGruber brought in
first-
$9 million.
That was my first pick. I should have gone with it, but I'm glad
Should've.
I'm glad it
Yep.
did.
Go with your
Yeah.
heart, Chris. Always. If you learn anything from being on the show, always go with your heart.
Right.
Okay, that was spoofs in the books. We have one more genre left in Genre Feud, and that genre is whodunits. Who doesn't love a good whodunit? Tell me right now, who doesn't love a good whodunit?
We should
That's
just
right.
find out.
All right.
It was
Here's
him.
three
It was the butler.
I don't know who's in this direction.
Yeah,
Whichever guy's above me.
I get to choose that. I'm just going to put the person that's most guilty looking right above you. All right, whodunits from 2005, Brick. From 2003, Mystic River. And from 2001, Gosford Park. Chris, let's start with you. Which one of these films had the lowest budget?
I've not seen a single one of these. A Brick.
Chris is saying Brick. Jordan, what do you say?
Yeah, I think Brick probably had the lowest budget.
Jordan also agreeing, saying Brick had the lowest budget. Dalton, what about you?
Yeah, I haven't seen these, but going just based on the cast, maybe I would say the Brick is probably the lowest budget.
Dalton also saying Brick. And George, what are you saying?
I'll go with Brick as well.
Across the board, Brick. Everybody gets a point. $475,000 to make that movie.
Alright.
$20 million to make Gosford Park, and $25 million to make Mystic River. Everybody got a point there. Good job, guys. Okay, now we're going to worldwide box office gross. Let's see another across the board. Everybody needs to get this right, which means everyone has to choose the same answer, right? Jordan, which answer is that?
Okay, I am gonna go with Mystic River.
Jordan saying Mystic River. Chris, what do you say?
Why the hell not? Mr. River.
Mystic River. Chris says Mystic River. Dalton, what do you say?
Yeah, Mystic River.
Mystic River. All right, George, don't fuck it up now, baby.
Yeah, George.
Well, since we're supposed to choose the same movie, I'm going to go with Mystic River as well.
George also choosing Mystic River. Who would have thought?
Shocking.
Everyone gets a point. $157 million
All
Mystic
right.
River brought in. Gosford Park brought in $88 million, and Brick brought in $4 million.
Is Brick is that a Ryan Johnson movie?
It's the very first Ryan Johnson film, yes.
Then I just want to take this opportunity to
God
say
damn
that
it.
the Last
Okay,
Jedi is
no.
the best Star Wars movie.
I got the power of
Sorry.
the cut here, baby. So, what is the worst Star Wars movie then?
I mean the third one in the new trilogy, the
That
last Abrams one. I can't imagine a worse Star Wars.
Okay,
movie.
can you say the words "The Rise of Skywalker" is the worst Star Wars movie and leave a good gap in between Skywalker and his?
Gosh, what could you be trying to do with that? No.
All right. At the end of Genre Feud, Chris is in the lead with 4 points.
What?
Jordan and George both hot on his heels with 3 points, and Dalton with 2. Heading into our second game.
Then I just want to take this opportunity to say that the third one in the new trilogy, the best Star Wars movie.
This game is called Stat Check.
This is Stat Check. We'll be discussing an element of a film that has a numeric value. I'll set a best line. You'll guess if that true number is higher or lower than that set number. Our first Stat Check is the number of yards that Andy Dufresne crawled in the Shawshank Redemption. I'm going to set that baseline at 1,000 yards. Do you think that the true number is above or below that number? It's not equal to. Don't try to play that game. It's above or below. Chris, let's start with you. Do you think the true number of yards that Andy Dufresne crawled to escape the Shawshank prison is above or below 1,000?
I think it's above.
Chris saying it's above. Jordan, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm going to go below.
Jordan's saying
I'm
it's
not
under.
sure. I'm not sure at all.
Okay, Dalton, what about you? Do you think it's higher or lower than 1,000 yards?
I will go with lower than 1,000.
Dalton's saying lower. Agreeing with Jordan. George, what do you say?
Lower.
George also saying lower. Jordan, George, Dalton all saying lower. Chris saying higher. And the true number is 500 yards,
right.
which is lower.
So
Jordan,
how many
George,
of us
and
were
Dalton
sitting
all
there
get a point.
picturing that scene, trying to remember
Yeah.
what he said?
I believe they audibly say it in football field length, I believe, in the film. I don't think they ever actually say the true number, but
I think,
there you go.
in fact, not to correct, but I think they do say both in the same
Oh.
section of dialogue.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's why I want
George,
to take on that VHS. I need that
yeah.
VHS.
I
Sure.
really crawled
That
through
is
over
the prize for
something of
tonight.
filth that nobody
So
can imagine.
Yep, I'm rooting for you now, George. I hope you get that, just because since you correct me on that one.
Me too.
Okay, our next stat check is the number of film cuts in the shower scene from the original Psycho. There are a determined amount of film cuts in this scene. There's a lot of them. I'm setting that baseline at 100. Do you think that true number is lower or higher than 100? Let's start with Dalton.
Oh, I actually just watched this like a month ago and was
You're
marveled at
counting.
the scene. I have to think it was lower than that, though. That sounds so high, but hold on.
Yeah, run it through in your head. Dr. Strange it, man.
I'm gonna go with higher. It is an insane sequence. I'm gonna say it's higher than 100.
Dalton is saying there are more than 100 cuts in that one scene. George, what do you say?
I will agree. I think it's higher.
George also saying higher. Chris, what do you say?
There were several, but I actually think it's lower.
Chris is saying lower, disagreeing with George and Dalton. Jordan, what do you say?
I have no idea, but 100 seems so high. I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say under.
Jordan agreeing with Chris and saying under. And the true answer is 50. There are
There we go.
50 cuts in that scene. Jordan and Chris
Literally.
both get a point for that. Anybody care to tell me how many angles there are in that film? And how many
boy.
camera angles there are in that scene? No, you know what? I'll
idea.
save that one. That'll be another episode. I'll save that for another stat check. All right, we have one more stat check to go, and that is the estimated number of days that Bill Murray's character spent in Groundhog Day in his time loop. I'm setting that baseline at 1,000 days. Now, this number has been estimated by people online. That's the number that we are guessing here. How long it takes a normal person to master the many different tasks and abilities that he showed in that film during that time. So that's the number we're going for here. I know it's a little iffy, but that's what we're playing for here. Do you think that true number is above or below 1,000 days? George, let's start with you.
I will say above.
George saying higher. Chris, what are you saying?
I love this movie, and I also feel it's above.
Chris saying higher as well. Dalton, what do you say?
Higher.
Dalton also saying higher than 1,000 days. Jordan, what about you?
I don't know what people online would have estimated, but I also always had the impression that it was higher. And I think I have read that like the original script maybe implies that it's like, years.
Yeah, something like that.
Potentially like many years.
Well, I mean, 1,000 days would be what? Just shy of 3 years, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like decades potentially, right? Like you really don't know. I think over.
Jordan also saying over. All of our contestants are saying it was more than 1,000 days depicted in that film, and the true answer is 12,395 days, as estimated by some nerd on the internet.
What?
Everybody gets
On
a
the
point.
internet?
Yeah, it's I think in the original script, Jordan, as you were alluding to, I think it said that he spends like 1,000,000 years.
Yeah, I
or
was gonna say
something
it's like
in
an
that time loop.
centuries or like a
For
really
sure.
long amount of time. Yeah.
Right. This is just like how long it takes for someone to be able to learn the piano as well as he plays in the film, who learns chess as well as he is able to play in the film, and things of that like.
It's quite a bit like a Star Trek episode in many ways.
Are you saying they stole it? Are you saying that Harold Ramis stole this film from Star
I don't
Trek?
mean a specific Star Trek episode. I just mean the general, like, it's the kind of thing that would happen in a Star Trek episode.
For sure.
There probably is an example of a
Happened in
Sure.
Stargate.
Yeah, there's got to be a Groundhog Day episode of Star Trek, if I had to guess. Okay, at the end of stat check, we still have a tie for first place. Jordan and Chris both have 6 points. George has 5, and Dalton has 4.
This game is called Meetings and Failures in Meetings.
The crowd favorite, Meetings and Failures and Meetings. I will name a film and 3 titles that a film is released under in foreign markets. Only one is real. Figure out the correct title and get a point. Our first film is from 1997. It is Copland. Here are 3 titles for you. One of them is real, and that's the one I'm looking for. Strong Arm of the Law from Sweden. Cop Nest from Estonia. Cops Are the Crooks from Brazil. One of these is real. 2 of them are bullshit made up by me. Which one is the real one, Chris?
How about Cops of the Crooks?
Cops Are the Crooks, Chris says. George, what do you say?
Which one is the real one?
Which one is the real one? One of these was a real title. This was released under in another market.
I'll go
2
with
of them are completely bullshit.
Strong Arm of the Law.
George is saying Strong Arm of the Law is the correct title. Dalton, what do you say?
I have no fucking idea. I'm gonna go with Cops of the Crooks.
Cops Are the Crooks, Dalton says. Agreeing with Chris. Jordan, what do you say?
part of me. So I think Strong Arm of the Law is a funny name for a Stallone cop movie, but it does also seem a little bit like Long Arm of the Law is an English phrase. Is it a Swedish phrase? Would they make a play on an English phrase? I don't really know, right? I'm gonna go with Cops of the Crooks. I think Cop Nest is the funniest one, but I'm gonna go with Cops of the Crooks.
I really hope it's Cop Nest, but I don't want to pick Cop Nest.
Jordan agreeing with Dalton and Chris is saying Cops of the Crooks. George is saying Strong Arm of the Law. And Jordan, you're really kyling out over there, but you went the wrong way with it. It really was Cop Nest. Cop Nest is the correct title in Estonia. No points.
Nice.
See, like I was saying, Jordan, sometimes you play the game long enough, you start to see the cracks and how things are set up.
But also, like you were saying, I should have followed my heart.
You should have followed your heart. If there's one thing you learned from this show, follow your heart. Okay, our next Meetings of Failures and Meetings is from 2001. It is The Royal Tenenbaums, one of my favorite films of all time.
Hell yeah.
And here are 3 titles for you. One of them is real, 2 of them are bullshit. A Family of Freaks from Croatia, The Last Con from Germany, and Living at Home from Italy. One of these is the real title in that indicated market. The other 2 are bullshit. Which one is the real one, George?
Living at Home. George
is saying Living at Home is the correct title. Dalton, what do you say?
I don't know, but George seems so confident that I'm going to follow him. Yeah, him too.
There's a lot of riding of the train on this show, so welcome aboard.
This is bad. We're both going down.
George and Dalton both saying Living at Home. Chris, what do you say?
I like A Family of Freaks.
Chris saying A Family of Freaks. And Jordan, what do you say?
Oh, give me The Last Con.
Jordan saying The Last Con. So George and Dalton saying Living at Home. Chris saying A Family of Freaks. Jordan saying The Last Con. And the answer is Family of Freaks. Chris gets another point.
Hey, look at that.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it.
It was the correct title from Croatia.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
They don't give a shit in Croatia. All right, we have.
I just like they don't really seem like freaks. I mean, they're kind of weird people. They're not like The Hills Have Eyes or some shit, right? Like
you're not looking at it from the Croatian perspective. Surely, if you were born and lived in Croatia, you would see this film like, what the fuck are these freaks doing?
Yeah. Listening to the French Rolling Stones records, what the fuck? It's pronounced Tutankhamun.
We have one last Meetings of Failures, and that is Jackie Brown from 1997, another favorite of the show, I'm sure. Here are 3 titles for you. Triple Betrayal from Uruguay, Rum Punch from Estonia, and Women with Guns from Russia. Start with Jordan. Which one is the real title?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, is Rum Punch not the name of the short story it's based on?
Yeah, that's the Alan Leiter novel. That
yeah. Which I'm gonna go with Triple Betrayal though.
Jordan's saying Triple Betrayal is the real title. Dalton, what do you say?
I'm also going with Triple Betrayal. I don't think that they would use the name of the novella. I don't know, but that doesn't seem right to me. And the women with guns things is like,
Yeah, isn't she kind of the only woman with a gun? Does the Fonda chick have a gun in it?
Well, there's that whole infomercial.
yeah.
The film does depict a lot of women with guns. I'll give it that.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Triple Betrayal.
2 for Triple Betrayal. Chris, what do you say?
Well, you know what? In fact, they're saying that the story was based on another story. Having not even seen the movie, I'm going to go with Rum Punch.
Chris is saying Rum Punch. And George, what do you say?
I'm going to also go with Rum Punch.
George agreeing with Chris, saying Rum Punch. You guys are correct. That is the title of the novella by Elmore Leonard. It is not the title in Estonia. Triple Betrayal is the title in Uruguay.
I liked Women with Guns, but it was a little too on the nose.
Well, and to be fair, Rum Punch was manufactured by Elmore Leonard.
Yeah, I get. Okay, you're right. Whatever. Geez, here at the end of Meetings and Failures Meetings, as we're getting to the end of the show, we have another tie. Jordan and Chris still 7 points, tied in first place. George and Dalton, 5 points, tied for second place.
This game is called Name Drop.
This is Name Drop, the game that goes really short or really long, all depending on the encyclopedic film knowledge of our contestants, also known as the Yelling Names of Movies Out game. I will give a specific qualifier of films, and we will go around in a circle naming a film that qualifies until only one person remains. That person will receive 3 points. The films that you will be naming are featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, or Sylvester Stallone. Jordan, I'm going to let you take it from here. I need you to name a film that features at least one of those 3 actors. We're playing for 3 points here.
Over the top.
Over the top. All right, Chris.
The Terminator.
The Terminator, George.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Dalton.
Die Hard 2.
I need a full title. All right, Dalton's out. Jordan, back to you.
Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
Okay, Chris.
Copland.
Copland, George.
Commando.
Commando, Jordan.
First Blood.
Is that a full title?
Yeah, that's the name of the first one.
All right, I'll give it to you because I don't know.
Dude, look it up. I'm
sure. I'll give it to you. Chris.
Rocky.
Rocky. Okay, George. Now we're getting into the Rockies. Here we go, guys.
I was gonna say, okay. Anyway, Balboa.
I need a full title there.
Is that Rocky 4 Balboa? Rocky
George is
5.
George is out. George is out. Jordan.
Well, so the movie you're thinking of is the 6th Rocky film, and it's called Rocky Balboa.
All right, Chris.
One of my favorites, The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, Jordan.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Hard with a Vengeance, Chris.
The Predator. Just Predator.
I'll give you, okay. You said Predator. I'll give you Predator. Jordan.
The Last Action Hero.
Okay. Chris.
Terminator 2.
Ooh, that one's rough. I need a full title there, sir.
Is it Judgment Day, or is that the third one?
Right.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
I'll give you that. Jordan.
Let me see. Batman and Robin.
Chris.
12 Monkeys.
Jordan.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay, Chris.
Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop, Jordan.
Twins.
Twins, Chris.
The Expendables.
Expendables, Jordan.
Yeah, there you go. Creed.
Creed, Chris. Chris. That last movie you named has a bunch of sequels.
The Expendables 2.
Jordan.
Rocky 2.
Okay, Chris.
Death Becomes Her.
Death Becomes Her is a tremendous film. I just recently bought it on 4K. Good choice. Jordan.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Chris. You guys are doing good. I didn't think it was going to go on this long.
Oh no, I'm drawing a blank. I can picture a lot of them and can't. Oh, I got nothing.
All right, Jordan, name one more.
Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Jordan takes it. Good job, Jordan.
I could picture so many, but I couldn't think of the titles to save my life.
Yeah, good job hanging in there, though, Chris. You did a great job, especially with a cinephile as prolific as Jordan is himself.
I don't.
All right,
Pretty
that was
proud of
named.
that.
It's
named
become a
about-
recurring thing where people like can't remember the title of the franchise movie.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
you have
like,
to come
oh,
in and
yeah,
save the day.
I know
Yeah.
all of those.
Mhm. Yeah, he's a real stickler for grammar and correct pronunciation. And okay, so that was name drop. We are moving into our last game.
This game is called Dreamcast.
This is Dreamcast. Hollywood has come knocking and they want you guys to recast their new hit remake. I'll be naming 5 roles from a film you have surely seen, and you will be recasting each role with any actor, living or dead. If I deem your choice worthy, you will get 1 point for each role. Tonight we are recasting Dazed and Confused. Here are 5 roles from Dazed and Confused that we'll be recasting. Randall, Pink Floyd, originally played by Jason London. David Wooderson, originally played by Matthew McConaughey. Mitch Kramer, originally played by Wiley Wiggins. Fred O'Banion, originally played by Ben Affleck. And Ron Slater, originally played by Rory Cochrane. Is there anyone here that has not seen Dazed and Confused?
That'd be me.
Chris hasn't seen it. Okay, so you're going to be having to just kind of taking some shots in the dark. But as we go through them, I'll kind of tell you like what they're about.
All right.
All right, George, let's start with you. Who would you cast as Randall Pink Floyd in your remake of Dazed and Confused?
I'll go with Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, George says.
I'm kind of basing this on like looks alone, not exactly like
Right.
caliber per se.
Honestly, as this game has gone in the past, the crazier the better. Keep that in mind.
Fair
Jordan, what about you? Who are you going to cast as Pink Floyd?
But honestly, this is a really hard.
Really?
All of these are hard.
I thought this was going to be an easy one.
No,
Should we,
I
maybe
feel
we
like
should reset.
I feel like I don't know enough young actors for this.
Go big with it then.
I just going to be perfectly honest, just going off of looks, I would probably cast one of those Stranger Things kids.
Take your pick.
I don't know their names. The one was one of them in It.
You want that Finn kid, Finn
Yeah.
Wolf.
Finn Wolfhard.
Wolfhard.
Yeah, that's the one
Finn
I'm thinking of.
Wolfhard.
Yeah, give me Finn Wolfhard.
No offense.
You're
to him,
talking
he's
about
I don't watch
Ghostbusters
Stranger Things.
Afterlife star Finn Wolfhard.
There you go. Sure.
All right, Chris.
I'm gonna do-
Give me an actor. And just name an actor. I really at this point. Make it funny.
all right. How about doesn't matter who? Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. Okay. All right, Dalton. Back to you. Who's playing Pink Floyd in your remake?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Dalton says.
Dude, he could do it.
Yeah,
Good,
that's fine.
good. Okay, Jordan. Let's start with you. Matthew McConaughey's character, David Wooderson. Who's going to be the guy that
So I feel like the funny answer here is Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson? Yeah.
Damn it, Jordan.
That's a good. That's not even. It's a funny answer. It's also a good answer because I'd love to see that.
Well, and there aren't they like it turns out they're maybe actually brothers or something like that. Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah,
surprise
no,
me.
that's real. Like it turns out that they like their parents may have hooked up and they might be brothers.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they like just found out like a couple years ago or something.
Another unfounded rumor started right here on Filmwar.
No, dude, I'm telling you, I read it in something like that.
Hey, it's about movies. It's on the internet. It must be true.
I read it in
No.
a hieroglyph on a cave wall. All right, Chris, who are you going to cast as Matthew McConaughey's character in Days
I'm
and
in
Confused that you
freefall
haven't
now.
seen?
He took the one that I was gonna use.
Oh, bastard. What are some
That's
other
right,
good
damn it.
Matthew McConaughey co-stars you could use?
Right. Oh God.
Anne Hathaway. You know, while you're thinking, I'm going to talk about how much I hate Interstellar. All right, guys. Number one.
I only saw it the once,
man.
but it wasn't good.
Saw what you needed to, didn't like it.
I saw it in IMAX and everything. I mean, if you're not going to have a good experience with it there, where are you gonna? You know, and yeah, I was.
I
not
didn't see that
impressed.
one on IMAX, but I enjoyed it despite it. I enjoyed it. If any idea what the? I think it's somebody. I don't know the actor's name.
All right, I'll come back around to you.
Oh, no,
George, who you
yeah,
going to
all
cast?
right.
I'm gonna go with. I mean, it's not funny. Again, these are. I'm going with Glenn Powell.
right,
That's
yeah.
pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I
That's not
would love
bad.
to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it'll do good in the box office if we can roll it back through and I can get my pick. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying?
It would be a perfect role for him where he is in his career as well.
Yeah.
Dalton, what about you? Who are you going to cast as Matthew McConaughey's?
He's like old for it now, but I think there's a time where he could have pulled it off as like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Downey Jr.
Hmm.
Would love to see that. I mean,
What can't he do?
Yeah, I'd watch him in anything, really. Yeah, he could. You can name him for any of these roles. All right, Chris, back to you. Who are you going to cast as Matthew McConaughey's role?
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Okay, I can see Swarmy coming off him very well. So yeah,
I would.
think that'd be
I
good.
would think Will Arnett between the Arrested Development guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Will Arnett's maybe a little too far in the one direction. I feel like Jason Bateman has a greater range. I don't know. I might be off on that. All right, George, let's start with you for Mitch Kramer, originally played by Wiley Wiggins, the young kid on the roster. Who's the youngest actor you know, basically?
Oh, I don't know about youngest actor, but I would pick Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Okay. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I can't help but go off the looks. Like they.
Yeah, sure. You're thinking of Angels in the Outfield.
Yep.
Now that movie is amazing. Let's not go there.
All right, Dalton, to you.
Let's put Timothy Chalamet in there.
Okay.
There's
Kid
your
of the moment,
blockbuster.
Timothy Chalamet. He'd nail it. I don't like the kid, but he'd probably do a really good job with it.
He's really good in the Dylan movie.
All right, Chris, to you once again. Who's playing? This is basically just, he's the freshman. This movie is about high school. This guy's the freshman. It's kind of coming into the school for the first time.
Like I've got to know who any young actors are.
I mean, you could say young Marlon Brando if you wanted. You know, it doesn't matter how old they are now.
Age them down. I get it. You know what? I don't even think he did much. Anybody know the name of the kid that was the Paperboy kid from Better Off Dead from way
John
back
Cusack.
when. No, he was the main
kid. The kid. I have no idea who that kid is.
$2.
I could just write down kid from Better Off Dead.
Let's go with that.
Okay. Someone after my own heart, Chris. Love it. Okay, Jordan, last to you. Mitch Kramer. Who's playing him?
You said this name a minute ago, and ever since then, I can't unsee putting this face in that photo. And I'm gonna go. No, I'm gonna go with Anne Hathaway.
And that's how the game is played. One right into left field. All right, Jordan, right back to you. O'Banion, originally played by Ben Affleck. Who are you casting? He's wild. He's angry. He's getting covered with paint.
I'm gonna go with I like Beck Bennett from SNL.
Yeah, okay. I can see him doing that role. Yeah, for sure. All right, George.
I'm going
O'Banion.
I'm gonna go with Bill Paxton, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah, he would do tremendous in that role as well. Dalton, to you.
Matt Damon.
Matt
Damon. That's a pretty good choice. That's a good.
Yeah, that's kind of like the McConaughey Harrelson
for sure.
thing.
Yep. Two sides of the same coin. Absolutely. All right, Chris. Last for O'Banion for you.
You know what? How about Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel. I know you haven't seen the movie, but if you had, it's a stellar choice. Good choice. Okay, the last character is Ron Slater. He's the big stoner. So, Chris, give me who's playing the big stoner in your Dazed and Confused remake?
I've been wanting to make him Brad Pitt since I first saw this picture.
Brad Pitt. Problematic times for Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
All right, Dalton, who are you going to cast? Ron
I
Slater.
mean,
Who's wearing that hat?
let's go with Jason Mewes.
Jason Mewes. The typecast Jason Mewes. All right, George, to you.
I'm going with First Instinct, Eduardo Franco. Anybody?
What?
Stranger
No, I
Things,
don't know
the
who that is.
long-haired pizza guy who's also a stoner fellow.
What?
He's not just in Stranger Things. He's been in other features.
Yes, yeah, he's in that that Netflix movie too. I can't remember the name of it. All right, Eduardo Franco is the man's name.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and Jordan, last pick of Dreamcast. Who are you to cast as Ron Slater?
Well, it definitely, to be honest, this character definitely reminds me somewhat of both George and Dalton when they were about that age. But I'm going to go with
Way to call out two of the contestants there. Jesus.
I mean,
it's not a bad comparison,
George,
but like
right
you know,
now. I mean, come on.
You know who this like predominant stoner character reminds me of? These two assholes.
Hey, I would never accuse either of them of being more of a stoner than I am.
That would have been a great compliment to both of us, probably.
Yeah. I
Let's
think
destroy. Let's destroy the career chances of these men.
Right. I was doing great till I did this podcast.
Now, I'm going to go with the slightly out of left field pick that you guys might not actually know. I don't know. There's a musician named Kurt Vile, and I think he would be very funny in this part.
I gotta look him up.
Kurt Vile.
God damn it! You always gotta give me people I gotta look up.
It's got kind of a
looks like Andrew WK. Yeah.
The music is very. It's like Tom Petty if he was like fucking so stoned. It's good. It's good stuff.
I mean, he kind of looks like me and Dalton, I think. Just saying.
That's what I said, right?
Okay.
I mean, also me at that age. It's just that you guys had dark hair.
Well, you've
Are you
always
still
had
trying to explain
wonderful facial
yourself?
hair that we could not get.
All right, here is our cast list for our Dazed and Confused remake. For Randall Pink Floyd, we have Finn Wolfhard from Jordan, Ashton Kutcher from George, Tobey Maguire from Dalton, and the winner, Brendan Fraser from Chris. That's 1 point for Chris.
All right.
For Matthew McConaughey's David Witterson, we have Woody Harrelson from Jordan, Glenn Powell from George, Robert Downey Jr. from Dalton, and Jason Bateman from Chris. I'm going to give it to Glenn Powell. I think Glenn Powell can play that best of those four. It's a point for George. For Mitch Kramer, originally played by Wiley Wiggins, Jordan gave us Anne Hathaway, George gave us Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Dalton gave us Timothy Chalamet, and Chris gave us that kid from Better Off Dead. That was the Paperboy. I'm going to give it to Anne Hathaway. That's a point for Jordan. For Fred O'Banion, we had Beck Bennett from Jordan, Bill Paxton from George, Matt Damon from Dalton, and the winner, Daniel Radcliffe from Chris. It's another point for Chris. And for Ron Slater, that's stupid stoner. Jordan said Kurt Vile. George said Eduardo Franco. Dalton said Jason Mewes. And Chris said Brad Pitt. I'm going to give it to Jason Mewes. That's a point for Dalton. All right, we have a champion. Jordan's taking it home with 11 points. Chris had 9 points, and George and Dalton both had 6 points. Congratulations, Jordan. You're taking home Shawshank Redemption on VHS.
Dang.
I know.
Good job, sir.
I know George is pissed.
Thank you. Sorry, George.
Is it still in the original sleeve, man? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Still in the plastic, even. You have no idea what you
it
missed.
doesn't have the plastic, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's the it says the limited special edition, one of two. Wow.
Does it really say that?
It doesn't say that. George, now you know when you come to show, you got to come to play.
Yeah,
you got to come to play, man.
This is
you did a good job for your first showing. You and Dalton both.
Thanks.
I did much better than my last one, so I'm proud of that.
Yeah, good job, Chris. That's all for Filmwar. We have our new champion, All Hail Jordan. He is taking home a copy of The Shawshank Redemption on VHS. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at The Filmwar Pod and view our full video episodes at youtube.com/@Filmwar or at thefilmwar.com. Rate us, share us, kiss us, thrill us. Until then, any last words, gentlemen?
You enjoy that.
Until next time.
Happy New Year.
This episode's probably not going to come out until June. So.
Right.
Godspeed.
Filmwar, a 1,000-yard stare production.